Typhoon number 3 makes landfall, isolating many villages in Nghe An.
U.S. and Germany agree to deliver 5 Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine.
Nghe An. Nearly 100 highland households urgently evacuated to avoid landslide risk.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. Here we go, the first headline of the show. After the Typhoon number 3 made landfall, Nghệ An province has been affected and has recorded initial damages in many localities. Local authorities are mobilizing all resources to respond, aiming to avoid being caught off guard or unprepared.
Heavy rain, influenced by Typhoon number 3, caused a sudden flash flood in Hanoi commune, in Nghệ An province, resulting in bridges and culverts being swept away, houses collapsing, and many villages becoming completely isolated. As heavy rain is expected to continue in the highland areas of Nghệ An, local authorities advise residents in villages located along streams to remain vigilant against further landslides and recurring flash floods. To ensure the safe operation of hydropower reservoir discharges in accordance with approved single and inter-reservoir procedures for the river basin, the Khe Bo, Nhan Hak, Nam Mo, and Chao Thang hydropower plants in Nghe and province have announced water releases and adjustments in response to the effects of Typhoon number 3's circulation.
Germany's Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said on Monday that Germany and the United States have agreed to deliver 5 Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine.
That announcement comes as Russia ramps up its campaign of long-range strikes on Ukraine, including using ballistic missiles that only the Patriot system can shoot down. The announcement from Pistorius also comes after U.S. President Donald Trump said on 11 July that Washington would send advanced weapons, including Patriots, to Ukraine via NATO, marking a sharp 180-degree turn after a brief pause in arms shipments by the Pentagon. German Defense Minister Pistorius said, coordination with partners on the system's delivery will continue in the coming days.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Tehran has no plans to abandon its nuclear program, including uranium enrichment, despite the severe damage caused by the U.S. strikes to its facilities.
According to Foreign Minister Araghchi, Iran's nuclear facilities have suffered severe damage from U.S. and Israeli airstrikes and are still being assessed. He also affirmed that Iran is ready to negotiate with the U.S., but there will be no direct contact at the moment. The U.S. and Israel believe that Iran is close to the threshold of being able to quickly build nuclear weapons, while Tehran insists that its program is for civilian purposes only. In a related development, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the U.S. would carry out new attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities if necessary.
Upcoming are some updated news.
National Assembly Chairman Tran Mann and his spouse departed from Hanoi early this morning to attend the 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliament in Switzerland and begin an official visit to Senegal and Morocco. This marks NA Chairman Mann's first working trip in his capacity to Switzerland, as well as his first official visits to Morocco and Senegal. It is also the first official visit by a key Vietnamese leader to Morocco in 6 years, and the first to Senegal since the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. The trip aims to strengthen and further develop the friendly and mutually beneficiary relations between Vietnam and Senegal, Morocco, and Switzerland, deepen cooperation between Vietnam and the African and European regions.
Vietnam made a strong impression by ranking 6th out of 40 countries in the World AI Index published by Win, reaching 59.2 points on a scale of 100. This index was conducted by Win, the World Independent Market Research Network, aiming to measure the level of awareness, use, trust, and concern of people in 40 countries on 5 continents. In particular, Vietnam ranks third globally in AI trust, 65.6 points, and fifth in AI acceptance, 71.6 points. And both were above the world average in terms of interest, comfort in use, and perception of the usefulness of AI. These figures reflect the rapid growth of trust in digital technology in Vietnamese society, a key factor to maintain its position in the top 10 global on AI.
According to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, in the first half of the year, the U.S. imported about $905 million USD worth of seafood from Vietnam, up nearly 18% over the same period last year. However, after the sudden increase, the U.S. market cooled down immediately afterwards. In June, Vietnam's seafood export revenue to the U.S. rose 18% over last year. Meanwhile, China is becoming a bright spot. In the past 6 months, Vietnam earned $1.1 billion USD from seafood exports to China in the first half of this year, up 45% from the same period last year, and the Chinese market has also become Vietnam's largest seafood import market.
Although Nghệ An is not directly affected by Typhoon Vinh, the post-typhoon circulation has caused a widespread heavy rain. Local authorities across the province are focusing on implementing response measures to ensure the safety of residents in high-risk landslide areas. More in the story today.
From the night of July 21st to 22nd, continuous rain has been reported in the communes of Quế Phong, Thong Thu, Tien Phong, Tri Lê, and Muong Quang. Many areas have experienced prolonged heavy rainfall, causing high water levels at several bridges, such as the one in Tai Phong Hamlet, Quế Phong Commune, and the Tan Tai, Piang Luang Bridge in Tri Lê Commune. Residents are unable to use these routes. Streams, rivers, and lakes in the area are also experiencing high and rapidly flowing water.
Yesterday morning, a working session and drill was held with Bangkok Hydropower Plant. The government and the plant will coordinate to propagate and warn people during the flood discharge process.
Due to widespread heavy rain, many areas in the mountainous communes are at high risk of flash floods, mudslides, and landslides. Yesterday afternoon, in Nhon Mai commune, 19 households from Doi Voi village, an area with a high risk of landslides, were urgently evacuated to safety.
The commune's Disaster Prevention and Control Committee held a meeting and directed functional forces in the area, such as border guards, to evacuate 19 households to the cultural house to temporarily stabilize the people during storm number 3.
As of this afternoon, due to the ongoing rain from the typhoon circulation, Nghe An province has had to evacuate over 90 households with more than 350 people from border communes of Nhon Mai, Tam Hop, Muong Quang, Quế Phong, Hoi Tu, Hu Kiem, and Keng Du to safe places. Specifically, in Keng Du commune, a landslide occurred this afternoon, affecting 2 houses. Fortunately, there were no casualties as residents had been evacuated beforehand. Many other areas in the Midland region also have plans in place and are ready to evacuate residents to safe locations. For example, 16 households in the Ru Bui area of Vinh Hien commune, which is at high risk of landslides, are prepared for relocation.
16 households in Ru Bui plan to move to the village cultural house to live there when there is heavy rain. Ensuring the safety of human life is the top priority.
Due to the widespread heavy rainfall, many transportation routes in areas like Tri Lê, Na Loi, and Keng Du are experiencing landslides and numerous submerged culverts. Several inter-commune bridges are at risk of being washed away, causing traffic to be cut off. Currently, local authorities, especially in mountainous regions, are focusing on flood prevention and control. Teams are inspecting and directing the implementation of response measures, evacuating residents to safe areas, and deploying personnel to guard critical locations to prevent people from entering dangerous zones. The Steering Committee for Natural Disaster Prevention, Control, Search and Rescue and Civil Defense of Nghe An Province is maintaining constant two-way communication with vulnerable communes to monitor the situation, provide direction, and reinforce local forces when necessary.
The last story to end our program today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye and see you later.